Hello all of my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku and welcome back to my channel. This is my reading log for the month of February. As you can see, I have a ton of different series. There are going to be no spoilers in this. I just want to give you an overview of the series and how it's been progressing so far. So with that being said, let's get started. So first up is Frieren Beyond Journey's End Volume 2. You know, what I really like about this is that it's a journey within a journey. Even though this is after the main journey, it's really such a unique and different storyline. We get introduced to a new side character in this volume, and honestly, I love the vibe between the side characters. I think it's super funny, and I think that they do well together, interacting with each other. I also think that the comedy is timed perfectly, and I think the superpowers are really cool. I am really enjoying this manga. I'm enjoying the art, and I cannot wait to keep picking this one up. Next up is My Love Mix-Up Volume 2. This was not as good as Volume 1. I think I just have some problems with some of the developments and with the characters, and I hope it just doesn't drag on and on in circles. You know, I'm thinking of like Rent a Girlfriend or something like that. But there is some nice development in the side characters. Honestly, this character right here, I really don't like. This is the MC's friend. I don't know. He seems kind of annoying. But that is to say that I do think that this is a really fun comedy romance series. Well, romance. So yeah, for right now, I have reservations about it. So I will keep picking it up. But this is one I can see myself dropping if it continues in kind of this really decline of a direction. Next up is We Never Learn Volumes 5 to 11. So I got through a pretty big chunk of this. You know, I really enjoyed the episodic nature of this manga. It's getting really funny. I love all the side characters that are being added. I like that all of the girls have very distinct personalities, and there's not a girl that I don't like. I honestly like all the girls, which is really different than like quintessential quintuplets. There are a couple of them that I just really didn't care about at all. What I also like about this manga is that each character gets their own progression in the story. It's not just comedy in the rom-com. There's like legitimate progression in their individual lives as well. So yeah, this is starting to get really high up there. I'm really enjoying this, and I highly recommend you check this one out. All right, we're on to the next stack here. This is To Your Eternity. I read 1 to 12 last month, and now I got through 13, 14, 15, and 16. This is the start of the modern arc, and I definitely had my reservations at the beginning of this arc. It was very different. It was cool to see a good cast of characters come back. But that being said, I really didn't enjoy the side characters that were presented in this. I thought they were really boring. I also didn't like the main character. He's just kind of annoying to me. He's not my favorite character in the world. But as it continued to go on, I understood the direction that it was trying to go for and the difference it was trying to make, and I appreciated it for what it was, especially in volume 16. That thing started to really wrap some things up, which was really cool, and I also like the direction of the supernatural aspect with the knockers. So yeah, you know, it's different, but have an open mind when you're reading To Your Eternity, this back end of it, because it's a lot different than where the anime left off, and especially in the manga in the first 12 volumes. Next up is Shaman King volumes 13, 14, and 15. You know, I have to say, I really like Shaman King. I love the new powers. I wish they had shown the training that they went through over 2 months, but they just kind of skipped over it. I think the artwork is absolutely phenomenal. It's great action. It's very easy to follow. And yeah, and all of the characters are really unique and really cool. And I really like the direction that this is going. So I cannot wait to keep reading this and continue to be immersed in this world. Next up is a manga that I got recommended by On the Shelf on his Instagram story, and this is Guatera, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm pretty sure that was wrong. This is a new series that is released by Kodansha in these omnibuses. I actually really like the print of this, and it's even got these little flap covers, which is cool. The one issue I do have with it is that this is really expensive. It's $25 for this edition, which is a lot of money. But basically, this manga is about this boy who likes this girl, and the boy has a friend right here, this guy, and so these two get bullied a lot at school, and it's not a lot of fun. He get bullied by this guy right here, and the thing is that these two have a love for motorcycles, so they go to motorcycle school. At motorcycle school, he meets this girl right here. He falls head over heels for her, and they both are into bikes, and she has an interest for him, and so it's this funny rom-com scenario about this boy who's just a total loner geek, like lowest bottom of the totem pole, trying to get with this girl while also trying to deal with all the bullying aspects. I thought it was pretty funny. It's definitely a unique story. I think the artwork is really, really cool, actually. And, you know, I'm actually curious to see what the rest of the story is. This is actually only 6 volumes long as a series, so it's not too much of an investment, but I think that this has the potential to be something really different in the rom-com area, because it's, you know, something, it's school life, but it's just something just a little bit different, a little bit more edgy, a little bit more avant-garde in terms of a rom-com. So if you're looking for something different, I recommend you check this one out. And last up in this stack is Skippin' Loafer Volume 3. This was wrapped in plastic, and I don't know why, and after reading through the volume, there was no reason for it to be wrapped in plastic. It didn't need to be wrapped in plastic. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure if I wasn't in the mood to read this at the point, because, you know, I love the first 2 volumes, but I was just a bit bored. There was not much progression in the romance aspect of this. I did enjoy when they went to the zoo, as you can see here, with all the animals, because I love animals. You know, I want to see more of the MC boy's backstory. You know, there's some slice of life stuff in here that I just didn't really care about, especially with one of the side characters who I find kind of annoying. So yeah, this was kind of a letdown volume for me, but I hope that it picks up in future volumes. Alright, we're on the 3rd stack here. Next up is Ajin Volume 17. This finishes the series of Ajin. And, you know, with this arc, I think, I'm going to try not to flip to a spoiler. Okay. I think with Ajin, I would have enjoyed this manga more if I had read the whole last arc together in one blow, so that I could get the whole story. That is to say, I think the ending is really good in this one. I think it wraps everything up really well, and I think that it's very satisfying. This manga series has a lot of rereadability in my book, and I think that it's really well constructed, even if the beginning is a little bit different than how it continued to progress. That is to say, I gave this one an 8.5 out of 10. I think I rated it 8 out of 10 on my anime list, or 9 out of 10. I mean, it's right in the middle. It's not the best thing in the world, but this is definitely one that everybody should have on their shelf. Next up is Blood on the Tracks Volume 7. We all know about Blood on the Tracks. I'm not going to talk about it too much. This is another great volume. Big mic drop. Crazy stuff going on within the family. Not with our main character, but with some of the other characters. And it's really, really good. I can't wait to keep reading this. Next up is A Man and His Cat Volume 5. Not only is this manga cute, but this is also dramatic as well. I really loved what they put in this volume. Basically, what happened is the cat gets lost, and the whole volume is spent them trying to find the cat. And yeah, you can say it's spoiler, but I mean, come on, it's a slice of life thing about a cat, so there's nothing like too crazy going on here. But I think it's really, really well constructed, and you can tell that the mangaka has cats and is familiar with cats. I love the side characters. I love how they enhance the main character. I like how deep their personalities are, and I like the cats as well. I mean, honestly, this is such a surprising series. series. I would honestly give it a 9.5, 9.7 out of 10. If this ends really well, I mean, shoot, I can see myself giving it a 10. I can't believe I'm saying that. Next up is My Senpai is Annoying Volume 6. Good scenarios in here. It was really funny. There was a cliffhanger here at the end, which I really, really liked. You know, a lot of people say, oh, there's a weird vibe between the boy and the older woman here, but honestly, I don't get that vibe at all. I think that it's just a cute, funny friendship, but I really did enjoy this volume. I will continue to pick this up. I like that this continues to go past the anime and they have a lot more scenarios. So if you like the anime, I definitely recommend you give this a try, especially because it's full color. It's a little bit expensive, but it's a good manga to have on the shelf. Next up is a manga series that's in my top 20, Blue Period Volume 5. There is some legendary character development in this manga. Super strong characters, and the storyline really helps lead the MC along. You know, they dive into colors and how colors enhance artwork, which I thought was super interesting. It was a lot of fun to read, and this is definitely a series that could make it into my top 10 as it continues to ride this upward trajectory. Next up is Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro, Volume 9. This was great. This was all about the relationship between Nagatoro and Senpai, which I really liked it all. There's not that many side characters at all. There were some heartwarming stories that were presented in this, which is a lot different than what we've seen in the past. You know, we've got some sickness and we've got some pampering, and it's great. And I really did enjoy it. So, you know, this manga, I didn't put in my top 10 rom-coms of all time, and I really should have. And I should have put this over Komi Can't Communicate, because I think that in the rom-com department, this is taking a better turn than Komi. Next up is a total surprise, Undead Unluck Volume 5. I was totally ready to drop this. I was like, you know, after Volume 4, I'm like, this is just total mid. This ain't gonna be good. But damn, this is actually good. I was surprised. I like the backstory of Andy, and I appreciate them adding more to the lore of the world. And, you know, basically they put in the main goal of the thing, what they're trying to do, which is weird that they put it in Volume 5 and not any earlier. But yeah, it's good. I'm going to keep picking it up. I hope it continues in this trajectory. I just wish that some of the stuff presented in this volume, it should have been presented in Volume 2 or 3, because that would have definitely cleared some things up a bit. Next up is Fire Force 25. Big mic drops in this volume. This volume was absolutely nuts. Some crazy character stuff going on, crazy world building stuff. It basically kind of flips everything on its head, which is really cool. I think the action is great. This is turning into a really strong reread candidate because of what happened in this volume. You want to go back and see if you can pick up on anything that's happened. It's not the most cohesive story in the world, but this manga is definitely underrated, and I wish more people could pick this up. We've got 6 more volumes, so it's almost done. Next up is Blue Giant Volume 7 and 8. I have talked so highly about this series, and this is another banger volume. We only have 2 more left, so we have Volume 9, 10, and that is it for this. I love the character development in our side characters. This is mainly about the side characters in this manga volume, or this omnibus. Not too much about the MC, which is fine because we got a lot about the MC in the previous volumes, and it's really now about the collective group that they're playing together, which I just think that this is a really cohesive story, and I really am enjoying the direction that it's taking. The artwork is fantastic. I love the sketching style. It's just so clear. All the characters are super unique. I mean, even look at the detail on the crowd. I mean, that is just absolutely nuts. The story has progressed and paced very well, and they're trying to move on up in the world, and so I really like where this is going. I cannot wait to finish this. So a manga that I dropped and I sold off was Higehiro Volume 2, and I'll put it right up here. I just couldn't get into it. It was better than Volume 1, but it wasn't enough for me to keep putting money down on it because it was so expensive. I also couldn't get over the weird age gap relationship. You have this underage girl living with this business guy, and it's just so weird. you know, and some people are like, oh, it's her scenario, you know, she's slutting herself out because, you know, she's a runaway high school person. But I mean, it's just weird. It's just a weird thing for me to read, and I don't feel comfortable reading it, and I don't want to read any more of it because there's better stuff for me to read out there. So yeah, I dropped it. I don't recommend you pick it up. So last up here, I read 6 more volumes of GTO The Early Years. So this is Omnibus 10, 11, 12. I have 13, 14, and 15, and I'm all done with this series. I've talked about this in every reading log for the last 3 months because I'm slowly getting through it. Not necessarily because I want to binge it. I don't think this is a bingeable series, but this is a series I'm going to take slowly so that I can really, really enjoy it because I think that it's well worth it. The art's fantastic. I love the direction of the story and the new stories that are presented. I like the antagonists. All the antagonists are really, really cool, and I also like how they brought in a lot of characters that were from previous storylines as well. So yeah, this is great. I'm going to finish it this next month, and we're going to be able to have GTO The Early Years crossed off the list. 31 volumes long. This is a long one. Okay, one more stack of manga here. We have Toilet Bound Hanako-kun Volume 12. I like that I'm getting one of these a month, which is really, really awesome. You know, the ending of this arc, I spoke really highly of this arc before in previous volumes, and then Volume 12 wrapped it up. You know, I have to say that I think the ending of this arc was a little bit anticlimactic, and it didn't really make sense to how some of our characters were progressing, especially Hanako-kun. So yeah, it was kind of womp womp, but it was still great overall. The art is absolutely blowing my mind. I think that it's really, really beautiful. I mean, look at these color pages. They're absolutely awesome. And we're on to the last mystery. There's 7 mysteries in the school. We've gone through 6. Now there's one more. So where does the story go from here after 12 volumes? I'll be curious to see after they finish the last mystery. Next up is Shino Can't Say Her Name by Shuzo Ishimi. You know, believe it or not, this manga really surprised me. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was good, you know, and a lot of people kind of crap on this one, but I really did like it. I thought it was a good, cohesive storyline. I liked the ending of it. I thought the ending wrapped up well, and I liked the main character. And basically, the manga is this girl right here, and she can't say her name. You know, she goes to a school, and she's having problems articulating her thoughts and her feelings. She has like a stuttering problem, and everybody teases her about it. And so this girl right here becomes friends with her, and then the goal of it is them developing their friendship and starting in a musical group together. And it's for her to stop being nervous and be able to talk more. So yeah, it's a really different take than what I've read from Shuzo Ishimi in the past, and I thought it was a good, heartwarming story. I'm definitely going to reread this again. I'm definitely going to keep it in my collection. Maybe a little bit of a different take than what other people have, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Next up is Way of the House Husband, Volume 7. This was great. Absolutely hilarious. I laughed after every single chapter. I just thought this was so funny. The art itself has taken a huge step up. I mean, it is so detailed, so beautiful, and I'm really enjoying it. I love all the scenarios with the animals, and I also like Miku. She is like top tier waifu material. Honestly, like I can't put her in my top 10 favorite characters of all time, but maybe I'll do like a top 5 waifu list, and honestly, she'll be like number 2 or number 1 because she is so funny. Next up is Black Clover 28. I've talked about Black Clover a lot on this channel. I love this arc. I love the direction that it's taking. I think things are finally starting to come together in terms of what this arc is about. I love the powers of the antagonist. I like the antagonist group, and I think the artwork has really, really stepped up. I had a problem with the artwork in like volume 24 or 23 because they had just changed editors and the backgrounds looked really, really weird, but I think now things have started to kind of clean itself up. So yeah, this is a great manga. I like that this arc has gotten better since the Elf Reincarnation arc, which was the best arc in the series easily. But this is a good follow-up arc. I can appreciate it for what it is. Next up is Dr. Stone, Volume 20. This is a transition volume, but it's a very great transition volume. Every chapter does something new, and so the pacing is great. You never get bored. It's Bochi artwork, so of course it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. I like the addition of our new new side character here. She's really, really funny. She's a great addition to the team, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy her. So yeah, this is really wrapping itself up, and it's continuing to go in a great direction. I heard that there is a crazy plot twist, and I wonder what it's going to be. Here's a surprising manga that I read, Robo Sapiens Tales of Tomorrow. So this manga was awarded the Division Grand Prize at the 2020 Japan Media Arts Festival, and for good reason. I gave it an 8 out of 10. It's really cool. So basically it's about how back in the day, in the 21st century, like a nuclear bomb exploded, and so the world has gone in a different direction where robots are the predominant force in the world compared to humans. So there are 3 robots, and each robot gets their own story, and then the chapters alternate between the stories, and then there's like an over-connecting theme type of thing. And so it really flows great, and it makes you think about how, man, technology is advancing, humanity is falling apart. This is really creepy, but it's really cool to see how robots function in society. And there's lots of great life lessons in here about the selfishness of humans and, you know, how we're kind of destroying ourselves. The artwork is really, really minimalistic, but really, really unique. I really enjoyed this. I think this should be a one-shot that everybody has on their shelf, and I think this might be a good introduction manga for some people. Yeah, the artwork's a little bit crazy, but I do think that the storyline is really, really enriching. And last but not least is Chainsaw Man volumes 8 and 9. I'm not going to talk too much about this, but thank God volume 9 was absolutely crazy. This is what I'm talking about. This is the Chainsaw Man that I've always wanted that I never got before. And so I really like the crazy action. I like the plot twist. I love the direction of the story, and I can't wait to finish it. I'm going to wait for volumes 10 and 11 to come out, and then I will read both of those in succession so that I can get the whole story just in one go. And that is it for my manga reading log for the month of February. Sorry for some of the clunkiness on some of the reviews on some of these volumes. You know, some of these I haven't read in a really long time, like a month ago. So it's been a while, but I've read a lot of great series, and I cannot wait for this month. I'm reading some really, really great stuff right now. So super excited to show you guys. As always, if you like the video, please hit that like button, tap that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.